Hey everyone, it's Holly Homer. And as often happens, somebody asks me a question and like on Facebook, and I'm like, oh, I can answer that in a sentence. And then I'm like, I cannot answer that in a sentence. Like I don't know, this is gonna be a 10-minute video before I'm done, I promise you. So sometimes it's just that way. I think I've just been around too long and failed too often to like let you go down that path without full knowledge of where you're going. So the simple question was, when should I start posting my spring cleaning posts? And because in the Blogpreneur course, we talk about, posting the holidays a little bit further in advance than you normally would think, because search engines and social media all like that and makes them happy. So, thinking spring cleaning is a holiday. So I'm taking this in a completely different tangent right now because, and really not answering that question because I think it's the perfect opportunity to talk about how to make those posts double duty. And so when I would create a spring cleaning post, thinking about spring cleaning, I would definitely, especially the first few, and we'll talk about this in a moment, I would definitely make them as season unspecific as possible. So like I would go in and do like cleaning tips and, or whatever you're talking about in a non-seasonal way. And here's why. Because people don't just clean in the spring. There's actually like 3 or 4 times a year where cleaning has a resurgence. And that's in January, when people are thinking about getting organized and making their life better. Well, cleaning is usually at the top of that too. Like, I want to get my house organized. I want my house to be clean so I can do all these great goals and resolutions that I'm talking about. And then, of course, in the spring, which is really obvious with the spring cleaning, but then also I find that those cleaning posts have kind of a resurgence in back to school time, which is, I feel like it's kind of January all over again. Because when, especially if your audience is moms, when moms are sending kids off to school, then they're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get my house organized, I'm gonna get it clean. When the kids come home, we have that kind of resolution starting all over again. If you have children, you know what I'm talking about. And then there'll be a little bit of cleaning through the holidays that people are looking for, like, especially if you're talking about quick and easy ways to do something really quick. Like people are having family in, they're looking for those tips to make that family entertaining, not stressful. So what I'm saying is if you're thinking about, and this works for other things too. I think about it for our, St. Patrick's Day. In fact, I was talking to someone about that this morning, is that Kids Activities blog has a significant amount of St. Patrick's Day crafts and activities, but St. Patrick's Day is not something that people are just celebrating for weeks and weeks and weeks, like Christmas and some of these other holidays. Valentine's Day has Easter has a long celebration period, but literally St. Patrick's Day, like maybe 3 days, and same thing with Thanksgiving, only about 3 days. So if I was going to make a St. Patrick's Day post, like maybe about rainbows, I would just make it a rainbow post. And I wouldn't necessarily talk about like leprechauns or shamrocks or anything like that. And then also the same thing for Thanksgiving, I find, is that I try not to make those specific to Thanksgiving, and except in one case, so that like thankfulness activities for kids, well, that's something that we can do year round and promote year round. We don't have to have a specific day in mind. All right. So but now you have this like non-holiday content that you want to, like, you're like, I made it for spring cleaning and now like nobody knows. So you're going to use the description and on Pinterest and on Facebook and on Twitter and on Instagram, so that when you're promoting these posts that are pretty generic as far as time period, you're going to promote them in a very holiday way. And I tell you, your readers will not know the difference. This will allow you to pull them out several times a year, which also will give you more social proof on those posts. So when you put your spring cleaning post, and I would start it maybe what is spring? I would start them probably mid-February. Maybe a little bit later than that, just depending. And I always send one out or two out, see how they do. And then if they don't go anywhere, then I'm like, oops, it's too early, try it again. But you're going to use the description in Facebook and on Pinterest and on Twitter to really push this as holiday content. So like it might be 10 ways to clean your house in 2 minutes, which would be fabulous. But when you put it on Twitter, you're going to say, you know, spring clean in 2 minutes? No way. And then on Facebook, you're going to say the secret to spring cleaning, you know, don't spend days, spend minutes. So you're going to like tell your people that this is spring cleaning content. Or when I put my rainbow activities up literally today for St. Patrick's Day, sending out that little balloon to see if it's, you know, it's too early yet. I said, you know, something about, putting that rainbow together with the holiday, even though the post doesn't necessarily say it's for St. Patrick's Day. Same thing with the thankfulness activities, is that when it is Thanksgiving, we're going to be like the perfect Thanksgiving activity for your family. But don't tell anyone we've promoted it 42 times this year in other ways. And that way you can get double duty. Okay, here's the exception to that. And I know we talked a little bit about this in SEO, but search engine optimization, eventually, like you're gonna want like to rank for spring cleaning, although that would be a crazy thing to be able to do because there's probably a cajillion people who run cleaning companies and cleaning blogs that are probably doing that. But you could potentially do some of the long tail or the longer phrases for spring cleaning. So you have these chunks of content that you've made that don't have any season to them. But that doesn't mean I don't have any like Thanksgiving posts on Kids Activities blog. I absolutely do, but they're not that first level content. They're not the first thing I wrote. I wrote a bunch of thankfulness activities. And then when we've kind of maxed that out, then we can bring them into a holiday. So we would have Thanksgiving activities for kids, but guess what? They're underneath that thankfulness activity umbrella. So that post is linking to this post and this post is linking to this post because they're related and they're deeply linked inside. So I might have done 5, 10, kind of smile it forward, pay it forward, thankfulness activities, great, instilling gratefulness in your children, all these posts that can be done all year. And then when I have enough of those, then I'm going to go a little bit more specific and then link those to these other ones. And then you can get more and more and more specific with those the deeper your blog is. And so unless you have a highly niched blog, which some of you probably do, which is fine to kind of reverse that, where like you're going to start with a really specific post and then you're going to like work that funnel out to those bigger concept posts the opposite way. But for the most of us that have a general blog, we're going to do it in the reverse. And so that you're going to, and the reason you do that is you're going to hit most of those, 90% of your readers are going to come on just those general posts, and then you're going to work in your time and energy into what's going to catch most of your readers. Now, the exception is this, like I just said, if you have a really highly niche blog, like for instance, a location-based blog, you're going to actually do the reverse because your readers, like if you have a Dallas-based blog that are talking about Dallas-based activities, then that's where you're going to get your readers initially, and then you're going to work them into those more just general posts. All right. So see, I don't have a timer on this, but I told you I have a lot to say about this. But anyway, what I want you to do is really think about like not only the timing of your posts, but if you could potentially use that post in a more general way so that you can use that same post all year round or at different points throughout the year instead of just saying, it's a spring cleaning post. And the reason why I learned this the hard way is because there's things that I want to promote on Facebook that are in Kids Activities blog that we wrote years and years and years ago. but they're so specific that like I can't pull them out at different times a year. And so we've slowly gone back and kind of refreshed those, or created, either kept it the same and created that new content that's very similar to it, that links to it, or actually went in, if it wasn't getting a lot of traffic itself, and changed it around so that I could promote it year round. And that's just where we've gotten some success, because like I hate, and this is one of the things that a lot of sponsored posts kind of force you into, is where they really niche you into a certain time period or a certain, like a deal or and then I'm like, but that's great content we wrote and now we can't use it the rest of the year long. Sorry. So go forth and double duty, use your content.